Guys, in this video, we're going to talk about modifying your take profit zones. I want to show you how to just really manipulate and change this section to modify where it's going to take profit. This will help you out not only for setting up advanced profit zones, but just understanding how the profit zones work for when you set up an existing trade or something like that. So when you're looking at the overall chart here, you're just seeing all these lines. These lines here symbolize your profit market, like kind of your profit lines for the zones that it does. So it's kind of like a trailing, stop as far as taking profit. So for instance, when you throw a buy here, it's going to populate multiple lines. What these lines mean is, as I zoom in here, you can see when a price breaks this green line, it will automatically be a win. There's no way it can lose because when it comes back to touch this green line, it will close it. What the ATA is going to allow is for it to go to the next line. Now, if it breaks this line and it comes back, it will close it here. And it just kind of works as like a ladder, right? This allows your ATA to run like this so you can actually maximize the profit. I mean, look at where it actually took profit right at the peak. So this allows it to pull up here. It retested, almost closed here, pump back up, you got your close up at the top, right? So that's how those take profit lines work. Now, let's talk about how to modify these take profit zones. Now, keep in mind that the ATA is always going to be looking for a take profit zone when it's in a trade. If you see the different color zones, that means it's because you are in a DCA. It helps you determine which ones are buys, where the original buy is and where the DCAs are. So this ATA trade right here cannot close this trade till it breaks this first line. It's impossible, it won't let it close it. So it's just going to continue to be patient. This is where the patience kind of pays out for the ATAs. So if I were to come into here, you can see these are all of our profit percentages. So if I wanted to modify these to be more, I would just simply change these to be more. So we'll change these to 50, 100, 150, 200, and we'll just keep going up by 50. Oh, don't know how that happened. My Mac's going crazy on me. All right, 250 and 300. Now, TP7 is very different. You notice how it's pretty far up here from where I had it. This is for a reason. So I'm going to make that, again, pretty far up here. Now, what that is, if you highlight over the eye, TP7 is like a ceiling. So when I hit OK, you can notice how it expanded these lines. It gave me a little more breathing room for where it takes its profit. Now, TP7 up here, this is my ceiling. The moment it touches it, it'll close it instantly. Doesn't care if it goes up, down, whatever. The moment it touches it, done. The goal is to stretch this one a little bit because if we get a blow off parabolic move, right, we want to secure that profits up as high as possible. But you can see how modifying these zones actually impacted how many trades I took. It impacted the profit. It basically impacted the overall results. So I like to use the default settings for 1 minute. It's been very back tested and proven to work. If I'm using higher time frames, such as a 5 minute, then I may want to use higher profit margin ranges, right? So you can see how this jumped up a little bit. Same thing with a 15 minute, you may want to go even higher, but you're going to notice that that profit actually helps it allow it to run. You can see the separations here, it's pretty good profit in the trade because it's super patient with it. So that is how I would, the only time I would really modify the profit zone is if I want to do a higher time frame of trading or if I'm setting up an existing trade. So let's just flip through that right quick on this one, and I will touch on it a little more in another video as well. But let's say that you wanted to set up an existing trade and you need your ATA to believe that your profit zone is higher. Or let's just say you've done your TA and you believe you're going up. We're hitting 24K. I don't want my ATA to take profit till I get to at least 24K. If you have a number in mind, remember this first one is the one that's going to break it, right? What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take in your date into consideration, right? So this will also be covered on the existing trades as well, but find the buy, okay? This is the most important thing, guys, to keep your DCAs the way that they need to be. So find the buy, the last one that you were in, and you're going to do one candle back. So we're going to go one candle back. So it's February 23rd, 2234. All right, so we're going to open this and we're going to type in February 23rd, and I think I said 2034. Let's see if it populates. Then we're going to check enable existing trade. What that does is it'll flip this from a blue to a teal if I did that in the right section, which I didn't. 2234. That's what we said. Okay. 2234. Well, anytime you make a change, you can click off or you can click OK and it'll update it. There we go. Now to put it back in a buy. So enabling an existing trade will force a close where you wanted it to throw a buy and throw a buy where you actually wanted it. This is important because it will keep your DCAs the same, like this. Now all I would have to do from this section is push my take profits up. So I'm going to come into here, and what I like to do when I have a specific number that I want to go for, I don't want to mess with 7 of these things. I just want to mess with 1. So let's just wipe all these out and let's put 1. All right, so now we know this is where that 1 is. So if I increase this to, let's say 200, and I click anywhere into this black area, give it a second, now it puts it up here, 23.9, almost there, but I like it to go a little bit higher. So let's try 225, because we wanted to not take profit till 24,000. And there it is, 24,000. So now that I'm good, I can just, put in whatever increments above I want. So 250, 275, 300, 325, 350, and we'll say 500. And we're going to hit OK. So what we just did here, guys, and you can just see in a short amount of time, what we did here is we recreated this buy, right, as an existing trade. And we told it, don't take profit till you're up to 24K, because I know it's going to run. It's going to refill this gap, right? You're going to take this massive trade because you're in a DCA, and you're going to let it run, right? Now comes with the risks, because you may come up here, reject, and fall straight backwards. You don't know, right? So this is more of an expert, experienced trader setup that, if you have an idea of where you want it to go. My whole concept is when you manipulate these take profits, this is the zone it will take profit. This will not take profit until it gets up here. It will not close it. It's impossible. And so if you sit here for a few days and you think, man, I really want to close this, right? You would have to come into here, again, delete your alert, and modify these numbers to bring these down, right? And now if you bring these down too low, right, then it may actually get out on one of the DCAs. Then you have to move your existing trade forward. So just remember, always follow what it thinks it's in. Right now it thinks it's in a buy, 2 DCAs in, and it's looking for a close, right? So just kind of understand that. But basically this is just, how you manipulate these take profit zones. That's kind of the focus of this one. So if you have any questions on how to manipulate the take profits, it works both longs and shorts. It's the same exact thing. Does not matter. Please reach out to us at support@botjock.com or within our community.